Hello, lovelies. Good to have you back again in my kitchen. I am so excited to have you here. So today I'm making plantain boat. This is obviously plantain shaped like a boat and filled with veggies and protein of choice. I decided to use gizzard. So without further ado, let's get started. As I said earlier, I'm using gizzard for this, and I had already washed the gizzard. This is 1 pound of gizzard. So I'm basically just cutting it into sizable parts, and then I'll transfer all of these into a pot. In my pot, I'm adding 2 stock cubes, half teaspoon curry powder, half teaspoon thyme, half teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon onion powder, Scotch bonnet pepper which I had blended. Just put what you can tolerate. I'll be adding half cup of water to this, and then I'll mix it properly. Cover and cook for about 20 minutes until properly done. Since the star of today's recipe is plantain, I'll be using some ripe plantains. You don't really want your plantain to be so ripe, overripe for this recipe. You need it to be in between ripe and unripe, okay? So it will be firm. I'm not this person that really loves ripe plantain, but this recipe is super duper yummy. I actually usually prefer unripe plantain. So basically what I did here was just cut off the ends and just simply run a knife from top to bottom. Okay, this was just to make it easy for me to peel it and reveal the inner parts. So you just want to make a canoe-like kind of a hole in the middle with your knife, just as you can see me do. Okay, it's already looking like a canoe. Oh my god, I'm always excited when I'm doing this recipe. It's just so beautiful. Cooking is art. So I'll be using my oven to roast this. So I simply just put a foil paper on my oven rack, okay, so the plantain doesn't stick to the bottom of the rack. Next, you want to melt your butter and rub it against the body of the plantain. This is to give it a golden look when it is roasted. By the way, I'm using salted butter for this, but if you do not have salted butter, you can use unsalted butter and just add a little bit of salt in it. What this will do is give the plantain a golden-like look when it is being roasted. Set your oven heat to high and then pop in your plantain. You don't necessarily have to preheat the oven, okay? So back to our gizzard on fire. The gizzard has been cooking for 20 minutes and it is perfectly done. I'm reserving a little of the broth, okay, so I would add to the sauce later on. What I'm doing here basically is cutting it into tiny bits, okay? At this point, my sister, you'll be tempted to start eating all of this thing, but my sister, right now, resist that temptation. I say resist that temptation in the name of Jesus, because before you know it, you'll be eating your plantain with palm oil. So what I did here was just checking on my plantain and just turned it to the other side so it cooks through, and then so the other part also browns as well. So all you just have to do is keep an eye on it. After some time, I lowered the heat to about 180 degrees Celsius. For my veggies and more garnishing, I'm using some carrots, green bell pepper, spring onions. Okay, ignore my ugly looking veggies, please. Just ignore. Thank you. For the sauce, I already had stew base in my refrigerator. So basically, to make this, I used some peppers like shumpo, the tatashi, and some tomatoes. Blend it up and fry it, just more like you're making a stew. So I just always have this available in my fridge and I use it often. So I went ahead to peel the carrots and the spring onions, then deseeded the bell peppers and washed everything up. So basically, I'll just show you how I cut my veggies. You just want to cut them anyhow you want, okay? So it's just basically making it look beautiful. Any shape, any size is perfect, but not too big that it won't fit into your canoe. Remember, we're doing a plantain canoe here, so it has to fit in, okay? So consider your size too. I told you cooking is art. It's so beautiful. I mean, I like chopping, I like cutting things. Don't you just like what you're saying? If you've watched till this point of the video, please subscribe to my channel and also click on the notification icon just beside the subscribe button. Like my video and share. Thank you so much. So it's now time to put everything together. I'm basically just frying my gizzard here. You can grill your gizzard if you do not want to fry it, just to make it brown and firm. That is the purpose here, okay? So I'll just fry it for some bits, and when it is lightly browned, I'll take it out of the oil. You actually do not need plenty oil for this because the remaining oil is what you use to stir fry other things. This is also a way of building flavor. It's time to introduce our carefully sliced onions to this. I'm also adding some part of the spring onions, and I'm adding some grated cloves of garlic to this too. So just stir fry until the onions is translucent. I'm adding thyme to this, curry powder, mix that together. I'm going in with the carrots first and not all the veggies because carrot is a bit harder than the rest of the veggies. So I just want this to get less crunchy on heat. So I'll leave this for about say 1 to 2 minutes to cook for some time before I introduce these other veggies. Just mix that up together and introduce the stew base I spoke about at the beginning of this video. You just want to mix that up with the gizzard broth we set aside before now and mix it up thoroughly. Let everything marry together. At this point you might want to add stock cube, but I don't want to add that because I tasted mine and it's perfectly okay. Go ahead and add the gizzard, mix it up properly, and you're almost done. Our spring onions is the very last veggies we are adding to this because we want it fresh and colorful, of course. Mind you, I have been frequently checking on my plantain and it is perfectly done right now. You just want to frequently keep an eye on it because you don't want to make a burnt offering. And this is the fun part. We're about filling our cayenne with this deliciousness. Just look at that. Look at that. So you want to carefully just put the stir fry you just made into the cayenne. Press it in and fill it up. Fill it up. Open it wide. Okay, it's not going to break. Open it up and fill it properly. I pray that God will fill each and every one of our hearts with so much love, so much goodness, and so much peace that we can share to the world out there, because you cannot give what you do not have. I hope you've learned something from this video and you're going to try out this recipe. Thank you so much for watching, and also do leave a comment if you try out this recipe. Remember to always be happy and healthy. See you in my next video. Bye for now.